Previously on a neat retelling. First interdimensional travel and now this. Ire, where did you even get the plans for a spaceship in the first place?
Liz, let me take a look at the schematics for the magic school bus.
You mean Miss Frizzle's chameleon? I mean, I guess I should have seen all this coming. You are basically inspired by all the Star Wars droids. Though I don't think this is what Sam had in mind when they were programming you.
Still, it appears we're going to be in space for the time being. Now, what was the phrase again? Oh, yes. Seatbelts, everyone.
Please let this be a normal theme month with
the
the droid. No way! Come on!
Cruising past copyright, you're filling the stratosphere. Next thing that you know, you're seeing pilots in your Shakespeare. Surfing solar storm waves in Point Drunk Carter's Mars. Leave the map to Transylvania. Take a rocket right up with the retelling.
Animate robots.
Right on the streets of start alien mutinies to my ship. Retelling in outer space. Hyperdrive in 3, 2, a public warning with the interstellar crew. Lift off! So join us at the captain's seat. Gravity will soon defy. Just don't fall the ship lead street. You might get baked into a parody. Just turn the page, all the galaxies are staged. Come on! It's retelling in space.
Captain's log. No. Don't feel like stealing valor here. Host log. Yeah, let's go with that. Host log. Star date. I don't know, but later than I wanted this episode to drop. Ire and I have been in space for 2 weeks now, and we only now just confirmed that not only does Orlok want us to keep an eye out for space vampires, he wants us to collect moon rocks so he can create the kind of sunscreen that'll stop him from burning in the daylight. Which, why not? I guess it kind of makes sense since moons reflect the sun's light. Maybe he wants to sunbathe on that gothic-looking beach for once. But I got a feeling this is just another thing he wants to get one over on Dracula. Which, actually, no, nothing wrong with that at all. Dracula can't hog all the day walking for himself. Proceed. We've just landed on a literal blue moon, and we'll start collecting them, but I can't help but notice the nearest planet does seem to be inhabited. And I am extremely tempted to go there.
Already stopped by, host Jasmine. I've got all sorts of souvenirs and pictures. Even a space crystal boba for you.
Oh, Ire, you're the best. I should have known you'd have that covered. Buddy? What exactly is holding on to you right now?
Well, it's certainly not a smoothie. I found this grubby little child while I was exploring. Can you keep them?
Oh, God, they're both giving me the Bambi eyes. I am almost afraid to ask, but was said grubby child locked in a closet or being used as a battery by any chance?
Both, if you can believe.
Unfortunately, yes, I can.
They don't like talking very much, but they seem to have taken a liking to my film projector.
Oh.
I believe that they don't have a name, though. We should let them choose one, host Jasmine.
I mean, I guess you seem to have it handled. Normally, I wouldn't condone kidnapping, but the poor baby. But you didn't get caught, right?
Don't worry. We managed to avoid capture. I didn't even have to use my flamethrower. By the way, I believe we may have found the space vampires.
What? You should have led with that, Ire.
I thought that the bite marks on the child's neck had given it away.
Well, sorry, I was a little preoccupied with the omelas of it all. Wait, do you guys hear that too?
I did. They shouldn't have caught up unless... Oh, it appears the child is trying to tell me something. Apparently the space vampires implanted a chip in them, and now they've... What was the phrase again? Oh, yes. Caught onto our scent.
Oh, God, okay, that's it. We are not having another first servant situation on our hands. The Star Trek episode was already traumatizing enough. Oh, no, they're closing in on us. Ire, prepare to stand ground. Go all out.
Already on it, host Jasmine.
what I'm talking about. Even the kids all fired up. Wait, what do you have there?
I believe they have absconded with my flamethrower. Oh, they just figured out how to turn it on.
Oh no, there's two of them now. Hey, get back here! Dear listeners, we're gonna have to get back to you. There's just a lot going on, and we still haven't gotten any room round, so that's just gonna have to wait till afterwards. If there's any left. How is this my fucking life? Hey, get away from them, you bitch!
Here, master! What's here? Don't speak to the mariners! Hold to it nearly, or we run ourselves aground! Bestir! Bestir! Aye, my hearts! Cheerly! Cheerly, my hearts! Yare! Yare! Take in the topsail! Bend to the mast like whistle! Blow till thou burst thy wind!
Welcome to A Neat Retelling, the podcast where we explore all the ways old tales are made new. This is IR in Space! And I am your host, Jasmine Garcia. Joining me today are...
I am Grady Smithy. I am Snake Bit Cat on the socials, and welcome to an episode of Problematic Favorites.
And how?
And I am Kyle Kallgren. Kyle Kallgren on socials, though I don't do much social media anymore. I have a YouTube channel called Bradshaw. I've talked about a lot of Shakespeare adaptations. I reviewed this movie way back when.
That you did.
And I'm sure we'll talk a lot about its connection with Shakespeare and all the problematic things that it perpetuates through Shakespeare through to now. Also, I just finished doing a binge watch of the Star Trek original series.
Oh, perfect timing considering last week's episode, but there's a lot there, isn't there?
Oh, so much. I mean, I'm sure there's some Star Trek lore saying that Roddenberry basically pitched Star Trek as Forbidden Planet, the TV show.
The funny thing is I did recently read They Called Us Enemy by George Takei, where he did go into a little bit of the origins of Star Trek. There wasn't any mention of that exactly, but who really knows? But yes, dear listeners, today we are talking about the 1956 science fiction classic Forbidden Planet, which shares a lot of parallels with William Shakespeare's The Tempest.
Greetings, I am IER60, Star Wars Retelling Connections. Point of intersection round. This is a degree 6. Walter Pigeon was in Wonton Ton, the dog who saved Hollywood with Art Carney, who was in the Star Wars Holiday Special, and Aunt Frances was in Lover's Nut with Tim Curry, who was in the 2008 Clone Wars series. For additional connections and uncredited amendments, check out neatretelling.tumblr.com/sibling-blogs.
And this was the second Space the Tempest we have done in the past month, actually.
And what was the first?
Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, our dear friend Ellie's Wish.
I'm adding that to my watch list.
It was based on a play by Shakespeare, but that's not important right now.
Yeah, no, that was also based on The Tempest. And there's also a YA novel called Gale that is basically The Tempest in space, but from Miranda's point of view. So, something about The Tempest in space. Something colonialism.
Well, the play The Tempest is probably one of the earliest expressions of colonialism in British culture, in English culture.
Exactly.
Because it was loosely but inspired by a really popular account of the wreck of what is now called Bermuda. Like, this is right when Britain was like putting its feelers out and thinking of a British empire. Like, Jamestown was founded about like 3 or 4 years before it premiered. And the play The Tempest mentions Caliban as being an Indian, as well as being like part fish. Like, there's a whole speech where Trinculo looks at his body and says, I could make a fortune displaying his corpse.
Editor Jasmine here. Is Caliban the fucking Gill Man? Has there been a Tempest adaptation that made him the Gill Man? Do I have to write it? I'll get back to you on that. Get back to the show while I try not to create another work in progress, okay? Yeah, I actually did revisit the play to prepare for Witch from Mercury, so yeah, there's a lot to unpack with that. So, with that said, what's everyone's connection to The Tempest? Like you said, Kyle, you had done a video on it for one of your Shakespeare videos. Actually, you've done a few. I know you've done one on Forbidden Planet, you've done one on the Jim Jarmusch version, and you did one on the Journey to Melonia, which I still need to watch. Hopefully we'll cover it one day.
My first encounter with the Tempest was the Wishbone episode,
Aww.
where the dog played Ariel, which is perfect casting for the dog.
Indeed, Wishbone is best and most well-read boy. Definitely probably the most chipper of Ariels, though.
Oh, yeah. The plot in that episode of Wishbone was that they were putting on a production of The Tempest, and while Wishbone was imagining the story of The Tempest, and they kind of framed it as, oh, Prospero, he's this magical wizard, and he has this great plan, leaving out the colonial subtext of the whole thing, but...
Yeah, God forbid we tell kids about that, right?
That's kind of been the interpretation of The Tempest for a long time. Prospero is this kind of benign figure, this wise old sage who has a plan and is just carefully manipulating everyone, where you could easily read it as him being the villain.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, again, in my recent rereads, I'm like, yeah, this guy kind of sucks too, though.
Yeah, he owns a slave. Multiple slaves.
Yeah.
And tortures his future son-in-law.
And if you watch the Helen Mirren one, it gets even more unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
That's the one with Idris Elba as Caliban.
Oh, God.
Yes, exactly. I've watched it, and it is amazingly photographed and also extremely uncomfortable in parts. My introduction to it was, it came on a Saturday afternoon on TV, and I was like, hey, it's that movie. And I had seen Airplane before I saw this, so I got a little whiplash seeing Leslie Nielsen not playing a comic character.
Okay, so Forbidden Planet was one of your first introductions to The Tempest, you mean?
Yes, I had never seen The Tempest before I saw Forbidden Planet, and it was only later that I realized where they'd gotten it from.
Oh, that's really cool, actually, because, like, unless we're doing, like, one of the Disney ones, it's not often somebody's first exposure to a certain story that we're talking about is the thing we're talking about, so that's fun. Yeah, as for me, I studied a lot of Shakespeare in college back when I was an English major. Should have stayed one. Going into education was a mistake. but yeah, I remembered reading The Tempest. It was not really one that I thought much about afterwards. It wasn't really one that I tended to revisit, which, if you know what I'm into fantasy stuff, and I love a deserted island, so you would think this would be tailor-made for me, but yeah, as I was rereading, I was like, yeah, this is just kind of focusing on all the stuff I'm less interested in. Give me more magic. Give me more revenge plot. Give me more Miranda coming to grips with the fact that her father's kind of insane. And as for Forbidden Planet, this is my first viewing of it, even though I have watched Kyle's video on it, of course. It wasn't the first time I had ever heard of Forbidden Planet, because I am a fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Enough said. One
of the many movies name dropped in the opening song.
And Francis stars in Forbidden Planet.
It's great because Forbidden Planet rhymes with Brad and Janet.
And more on that later, because the 50th anniversary is coming up.
Really?
It is, yeah. I found that out, and I was like, well, we gotta do something. So, Forbidden Planet. It's kind of one of those movies where you see the fingerprints it left all over pop culture. Like, you could see its cultural fingerprints all over Star Trek and Star Wars, and even more than just that, all over pop culture. Grady, obviously, you said that you happened to just catch it on a Saturday morning one time. Kyle, what is your connection to it beyond your video?
I think I first saw it, maybe when I was in high school, maybe college. I mean, I grew up in a house loving classic sci-fi. Both my mom and dad were, old school sci-fi nerds. They grew up watching Star Trek and reading, serialized sci-fi stories in print for a long time. I think my first encounter with the actual movie was in print in a book about the history of science fiction. And just seeing the image of Robbie the Robot. It's such a visually iconic movie.
Oh, absolutely. I can't deny that.
Robbie the Robot alone has had a cameo in so many other productions, including the masterpiece that is Earth Girls Are Easy, which I rewatched recently. He shows up in a dream sequence, alongside clips of the Jean Cocteau Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, that's wild. That is a combo there.
Earth Girls Are Easy. It's a great rewatch. Some parts don't hold up, but yeah.
I do need to give it a try, because I've heard fun things about it.
It is. It's very camp.
Well, as for me, I know this movie by reputation, not just from Kyle's video, but no joke, on the ABC show Castle, which I used to watch religiously before it sucked. There was actually an episode where there was a whole subplot where the main character, played by Nathan Fillion, was trying to get somebody to watch a re-release of Forbidden Planet with him. And it ended with him pretending he had never heard of it when his girlfriend started gushing about it. And was just like, oh, we have to go see it now. And that was very cute. It's one of the last good things about that TV show, unfortunately. But we're not here to talk about my beef with how Castle ended.
So the movie opens with this narration explaining that we finally land men on the moon in the late 21st century, which, pessimistic.
I mean, one could argue the 60s is on the later side of it. I mean, if you round up by century.
Yeah, but there is this kind of whole strain, tying it back to The Tempest, there is a whole strain of, like, colonialist sentiment in a lot of sci-fi, both before and after it, just in the idea of, like, colonizing space and conquering space. Fun fact, the word trek is from Afrikaans.
Oh.
Yeah, it means to travel. It means a big, long journey, like the Great Trek, the migration of Afrikaans-speaking Boers from the newly conquered, now English settlements that they had originally founded into the inland of Africa. The Great Trek is like considered this like big unifying Afrikaans national event. And then it just came to mean like any great journey, especially like an exotic journey, especially in Africa. So a Star Trek would then be, it's not there.
God, I love etymology.
There also is a big strain of military science fiction going through Trek. I mean, it has a naval structure, which existed long before Trek. It existed before Robert Heinlein and all the other science fiction that imagined these great military organizations that would spearhead the exploration of space. And that's here too. It is a military structure. It is a bunch of guys, very naval coded, going out into space. It's very much, guys on shore leave.
Yep, a bunch of guys who I can barely tell apart.
Yeah. Just all from the same printer. Just 50 identical white men going in space.
This movie really is both the best and worst of 1950s sci-fi.
Yeah, it took somebody pointing out on another server, it's like, wasn't Leslie Nielsen in that? And I was just like, there's no way. And then I looked it up and I was like, holy shit. Editor Jasmine here. For the record, I did not mean to release this the same weekend as the new Naked Gun movie came out. But if that ends up helping me out, hallelujah.
He is indistinguishable from every other man in this.
Yeah, which that doesn't feel like that should happen.
The only distinguishable man, the only person who stands out as his own character is Walter Pidgeon as Morbius. But, he's the one who's isolated from, the rest of society.
I'm going to do my very best to not make living vampire jokes. I'm promising I'm going to avoid that.
So you're saying it's not going to be Morbin time?
God damn it! Okay, fine. You got the one. We got it out of our systems. Let's please move on.
I'm absolutely convinced that this movie is where they got the name of the vampire character from.
Insane if true. Insane if true.
I totally believe that. I mean, Morbius is clearly derived from the word morbid. They're both villains. I mean...
God. I mean, I guess comics were written by a bunch of nerds, so I guess it does make sense. But yeah, we got these generic-looking military dudes in space who are trying to get on the planet, even though one of the few people on the planet is telling them, yeah, you don't want to be doing that.
That's why it's forbidden. It's forbidden for a little bit until he, caves in.
Don't dead, enter inside.
Yeah, these red-blooded American men are all, fuck you, I do what I want.
A white man broke in today.
A white man? No! What does security do about it?
Nothing.
Typical!
Honestly, something that occurred to me as they had finally gotten to the point where people were starting to die on the planet, I was just like, if this had been made 20, 30 years after, if that was somehow possible, they probably would have played it more like a space slasher.
Yeah, like Alien did.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
But then again, the genre of slasher didn't really exist by then.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like Psycho hadn't been made yet.
Yeah, exactly. So,
or Peeping Tom, or any one of the other.
Easy, Kyle. Ghostface isn't trying to kill us. We don't have to split hairs about this.
I mean, the structure is much more, classic sci-fi.
Yeah, exactly.
Like going back to its 19th century roots, like Jules Verne, H.G. Wells. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is very Jules Vernean. Like in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, they had Professor Aronnax as the all-knowing sci-fi narrator. That's the Leslie Nielsen character, meeting this strange, competent man from outside society who has discovered this great thing and spends most of the time explaining how that great thing works. Like Morbius is Captain Nemo.
I did not make that connection until you pointed that out. And in fairness, I haven't even seen 20,000 Leagues. I know I should, but...
You absolutely should, and my God, you're so right about this, Kyle.
So Morbius kind of shows them to their living abode, just kind of goes into, we've made this work, and Enter the token girl, our space Disney princess, if you will.
Smurfette.
Her name is Alta, dear listeners, for the record.
Okay, did Morbius name her after the planet? I wonder. Altair?
Probably.
Well, I think her full name is Altera, so yeah probably.
And those spacemen better not teach her a lesson in love because she has a sexy learning disability. What is it called, Kyle?
Sexlexia.
Thank you.
I have also seen Futurama, yes.
Yes, I had to throw in that specific Zap Brannigan reference, not just because it was the easy joke to make with her having the what is this human emotion called love subplot, but also because Leslie Nielsen is Zap Brannigan played straight.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
so.
That's another strain in a lot of classic sci-fi, like the token girl who's like innocent and untouched, and like there's a joke on old Mystery Science Theater 3000 episodes whenever they encounter this trope. What is kiss?
Yep. I mean, that's literally a scene in this movie.
But why should people want to kiss each other?
Oh, it's an old custom. All of the really high civilizations go in for it.
But it's so silly.
But it's good for you, though. It stimulates the whole system. As a matter of fact, you can't be in tip-top health without it.
Really? I didn't know that.
I'd be only too happy to show you.
Well, thank you very much, Lieutenant.
What is kiss? What is love? And like so many classic Star Trek episodes have that same structure too, like the games of Triskelion. There's so many Star Trek episodes where they like go down to a planet. There's one exotic alien woman who doesn't know what love is, and some member of the Enterprise, usually Kirk, sometimes Spock, usually Kirk, says, well, humans, they like to mash their faces together, and it's, that sort of thing. And it's always, stupid. What is kiss? Again, sometimes it's Spock, and sometimes she's like, I can't remember the name of the episode, like, oh, I've never met a Vulcan before, nor I a work of art, madam.
Damn, Spock!
I see why Spock has the fan base he does. Smooth motherfucker.
Yeah, clearly. That would have 100% worked on me. I'm not even gonna lie.
But yeah, this is the Miranda role. This is the girl raised in isolation, who looks at this whole string of civilized men and says, oh, brave new world that has such people in it.
And how? It's a little inconsistent, really, because she's so excited to meet these men, but then...
What is kiss?
Exactly. So it's just like, okay, you gotta pick a lane movie. You gotta pick a lane.
But then just the way they all talk to her constantly. You shouldn't be alone with guys. They'll do terrible things to you. Not like me. I'm one of the good ones. And then that guy gets chased off, and then Leslie Nielsen comes in and says, you shouldn't dress like that. How dare you?
Yeah. Gentlemen, I am so sorry. I think every man in this movie should die.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them did.
A lot of them did, yeah. Undone by their own unconscious, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I made the comment in my video essay on it that I made a while back that it was like season 1 of Mad Men level sexism.
Yeah.
You got a lot of really angry comments on that phrase, season 1 of Mad Men level sexism. Like, what are you talking about? It's not sexist. This is classic blah, 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 blah.
And I can't say I'm surprised. It's definitely the kind of bullshit you would get in the comments section of any video that dares to acknowledge, hey, maybe the past kind of sucked. And maybe we should be wary of that so we can break the cycles, maybe? Please?
Also, to link this to yet another property we haven't linked this to yet, this is one of the blueprints that Lucas was drawing from for Han and Leia.
Mm-hmm.
It is they hate each other.
Yes.
Oh, God, I love him.
Yeah, I'm a nice man.
I can swallow it more with Star Wars somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're not wrong.
Leia has more life experience and can call him on his bullshit in a way that Alta can't quite with the captain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, meanwhile, at least Han is an entertaining character.
Yes. I mean, Leslie Nielsen, charming guy. He does not have that charm here. Like, he's kind of forced into the straight-laced role. But can we talk about the one character who is not a man or a woman? NB icon, Robbie the Robot?
Yes, we must. I love Robbie. Give me more Robbie, please.
I rewatched it this morning. That was a line in that.
Doc, is it a male or a female?
In my case, sir, the question is totally without meaning.
Hell yes.
Mm-hmm.
I already knew I was going to love Robbie because I love me a good robot character. And then that line came up and it's just like, hell yes. If God hates the gays, why do we keep winning?
I mean, Robbie is the robot character. Like,
Yeah.
They were the blueprint for a long time.
And like you said, they pop up in pop culture all over the place, and I can see why. Great design and very entertaining character, and I just wish we got more Space Disney Princess Alta, more Robbie the Robot, because clearly they have a very nice little connection there.
Yeah, like Robbie has clearly done a lot for Altair in the past. Like they make her dresses and food, and like they have a banter.
Yeah, and it's cute.
And
it's
just
very
Robbie has some
sweet.
like great throwaway lines. I was giving myself an oil job. I do not like oxygen. It promotes rust.
Robbie is best Ariel.
And you get the sense that Robbie is aware that they're funny, and I love that for them.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously the inspiration for Robot from Lost in Space.
Oh, 100%. Like, I'm pretty sure there are even a lot of design parallels there. I just watched the 90s Lost in Space for another episode for this month. Unless I talk about that right now, the better.
Oh, spy it is.
Exactly.
Tying it back to the Tempest, Robbie the Robot is both Ariel and Caliban, which makes perfect sense. I mean, the word robot comes from a Czech word meaning forced labor. Robbie is a slave. There's even a subplot where he gets drunk with one of the castaways, as Caliban does.
Yeah, I saw that parallel once Cookie was basically having Robbie just replicate all the alcohol. It's like, oh, that's actually a really clever translation there. I love it when movies that reskin these classic stories do that sort of thing.
How about the robot belch when he downs that bottle of hooch?
Easy to make. Would you like 60 gallons of it?
Yeah, because, Robbie's not going to know what alcohol poisoning is.
Robbie can't get alcohol poisoning.
Exactly. And thank God for that, because we wouldn't want that. But yeah, and this planet has all this wildlife that Alta has made friends with, which was why I made the Disney princess joke. It's like, I want more of this. This is very enchanting and fun. But no, then the men have to come and ruin everything.
And she gets cooties.
They killed the tiger.
He does kill the tiger. I was very upset.
The tiger is about to kill her because she's not pure anymore. So in the 50s, even the cats are slut-shamed.
Yeah, man. And which I gotta say, the body language of that tiger did not tell me that he was gonna attack her. That I don't think you're being entirely honest with me, movie.
It was a real tiger, and it was still like had a trainer off screen, but yeah, a lot of like inferred body language on that cat. Just, I'm sorry, tigers are friend-shaped.
Tigers are friend-shaped.
If a tiger wanted to maul me, I would let it.
Yeah, especially since, again, I'm still pretty sure that if anyone was going to get mauled, it was going to be Leslie Nielsen's character. And it's just like, oh no. Anyway, I am this tiger's lawyer. My client was innocent before you vaporized them. And it's just like, yeah, the way Leslie Nielsen especially talks to her, and then all of a sudden, no, we're supposed to buy into the romance here. And I'm just like, oh, 50s.
Oh, 50s.
Yeah.
And it's just like, she barely has any lines after they finally kiss. Like, there's one scene in particular, she's just standing off in the background in a sexy black dress while all the men are talking.
Yeah, that's the meat of the movie. Just the men talking about how great the Krell civilization was. With a lot of, like, really ableist language, too. Mm-hmm.
It's really giving Noble Savage.
Oh, absolutely. Like that whole sequence, which is, groundbreaking special effects. Clearly inspiration for Leia's hologram in Star Wars, where Walter Pidgeon projects his daughter Altera into that little hologram. Mm-hmm. This is clearly a test for a Krell child. It ranks me as a high-grade moron. Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Even though my IQ, which is a real thing, is... Yeah.
161 or something? It's like... Okay.
Yeah.
No, that was the doctor who winds up sacrificing himself later. I don't think Morbius ever said what his score was, just that he got a lot less dumb after he strapped himself up to the brain machine.
Yeah, that was like the whole thing. Like, he enhanced his intelligence by hooking himself up to it somehow.
Yeah. The heart of the Krell story is like, they were so advanced, but even then, in them, there lurked the mindless primitive, I believe is the actual word they use. The mindless primitive.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, there is something to be said that human nature is inescapable, and the beast from the id, which eventually destroy them, their own like mental projections. I mean, people do.
There's an idea.
Man is a wolf to man and all that stuff, but there's a way to phrase it that isn't what's the word I'm looking for? Racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, honestly, while you are right, Kyle, I have to say, while Leslie Nielsen was talking about how, we all have this violent tendencies that we need laws and religion to tame, it's just like, you sound like you're arguing for the purge, dude.
Yeah.
Just a tad.
That was the end of the Krell civilization. It was the purge. They created this id machine, and then they just purged themselves.
It just worked. I do have a comment I'd like to make about the Krell machine. Circling back a little bit to something that Kyle said earlier, Robbie is half of Caliban in this one. The other half, the resentful, native to the planet half, is the monster from the id. Because when he was talking about how he had deciphered the language and used the machines to increase his brain power, I couldn't help but think about the line, "You taught me language, and my prophet aunt is I know how to curse."
The red plague rid you for learning me your language. Yes.
Yep. And it's a red monster
Ooh,
that
this is
strikes
good.
like an invisible plague.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I doubt that was a conscious connection, but it's nice to infer, isn't it?
And yeah, I do want to give a shout out to the special effects, especially with the design of the creature, because obviously this is the 1950s. There's only so much they could do, but they used what little they had to really great effect, especially because I kind of liked the look of the creature, where it's almost like a light show, almost, but it still comes off so threatening.
I believe it's a former Disney animator that they hired to create this like negative space where the creature is caught in a laser field that just gives the impression of it. But yeah, it was a fantastic effect.
It kind of looked like a tiger after the tiger died.
Yeah.
And it was burning bright.
In the forests of the night.
I would not be surprised if they did hire someone from Disney. It does kind of look like the Electric Parade a little bit. Going back to the romance, I gotta say, now that I'm thinking about in relation to the play, I think I buy Miranda and Ferdinand more, which isn't saying a lot, but because I guess it's just more of the sense of, okay, Shakespeare does the insta love a lot. Like, that's like his bread and butter with Romeo and Juliet. Okay, this is not that different from that. Okay, fine, you're already in love with him, and of course, you probably have spent time with him while your father decided to put him to work, but, and again, Ferdinand is never this cruel to her.
Yeah, Ferdinand's not a patriarch. Like, Leslie Nielsen is.
Yes.
Captain J.J. Adams is just, he's domineering. Like, his instinct upon meeting this child is to dominate her, basically.
Thank God Anne Francis, I looked it up. Thank God Anne Francis was 26.
Yeah.
Because I was worried for a hot second, not gonna lie, because it's harder to tell with older movies sometimes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And for what it's worth, Anne Francis does well with what she's given. It's not much, but there is a lot of charm and personality in her performance at the very least. Maybe the script doesn't see Altera as a full person, but I get the sense that Anne Francis did.
Yeah, she really makes the most of what she's given. Her and Walter Pidgeon and the ship's cook are my three favorite performances from this. Because the cook is the classic Shakespearean clown. And the guy who they cast as it showed up, and he knew what he was there for, and he did exactly that.
I'm here to get drunk with a robot.
And I mean, who wouldn't want to get paid to get drunk with a robot, I ask you? I'll admit, though, the scene that those scenes were the equivalent of in The Tempest were among the reasons why I realized, yeah, I like the idea of The Tempest, but not so much the text itself. There's nothing wrong with those scenes, I just didn't find them that engaging. Oh, speaking of Robbie, that demonstration that Morbius does to show that Robbie follows Asimov's laws, psychotic. Like, yes, Prospero has definitely done worse to Caliban, probably, but I also like Robbie better, so this hits a lot harder.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it also kind of establishes Walter Pidgeon, Morbius, as a threat. Like, if he can do this to a robot, like, hey, look at me, almost destroying this very adorable robot that you've instantly fallen in love with. Like,
yeah, and this adorable robot who has done nothing but help us during our time here.
No need to anthropomorphize it. It's completely feelingless. You can do anything you want to it. Like me. I am the good guy, like me.
Yeah, but to quote you in your video, bad guy, that guy's the bad guy.
Yep. Did anyone else notice that the beast from the id had a goatee?
Holy shit.
Oh my god,
no.
it did.
Yep. Because it's Morbius's id.
Yeah.
His shadow self.
His shadow self couldn't even shave.
Didn't have thumbs, just those spiky toe things. Gotta give a lot of love to the people who were doing the paintings that they were using as the backgrounds in so much of this. The starscape over the desert. My god, the Krell machine. That visual is just as good now as it was then.
Yeah, no, it's a very good looking movie considering its age. Like, in terms of its visual style, obviously it does look incredible and engaging. It kind of almost has the feel of a Twilight Zone or a classic Star Trek episode.
Yeah.
But with a much grander budget.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean, this is a big studio film. This is, it's MGM. This is like MGM attempting a big sci-fi epic. And that really explains a lot of the pace of this, because like science fiction was still kind of a novelty and still very difficult to do. It's before like there was a whole, industry dedicated to deep genre fiction. And so much of it is just paced as, hey, look, a spaceship. Ooh, yep, that's a spaceship. And just
sort of the roots of Star Trek, the slow motion picture there.
Yeah.
The pacing of this movie did kind of test my focus a lot. I really think I respect this movie a lot more than I actually genuinely like it. Which is a shame, because there is a lot that could be done here, because if we don't go with the slasher route, you still could count this as like a murder mystery in space. But it kind of just takes too long to get to the murder mystery.
And again, I think most of the appeal was put into, hey, look at this cool planet. Hey, look at this cool robot. Hey, look at this, without much thought into, like, the pacing, the storytelling behind it.
And in fairness, expectations were different in the 50s. Again, like you said, sci-fi was still a relatively new thing to see on the silver screen. And I think just in general, people were a lot more patient when it came to pacing in movies back then. Now that we've seen not just this, but also all of its descendants just upping the game, of course this is going to feel a little slow to a modern audience.
I mean, Star Wars, like if you look at science fiction pre-Star Wars and post-Star Wars, like so much of the pace, so much of Star Wars' Revolution was just in pace and storytelling and adventure.
That's
like
true.
it's so much of it, there's a lot written about how Star Wars was saved in the edit, but just it's so quickly like paced. Like there's a thrill to it that a lot of early sci-fi didn't have. A lot of early sci-fi was philosophical and ponderous, like the literature it came from. It's like, grapple with these big ideas, grapple with the idea of a lost civilization that is not our own on an alien planet. Like there's an exoticism and a wondrousness to it. And again, it goes back to Jules Verne.
But on the other hand, there are definitely ways to do those more ponderous kinds of movies in a more engaging way. I'm pretty sure there were even examples back then. I wish this was more fun. I was really ready for this to be more fun.
I think that if you listen to it with the volume turned off, your enjoyment would increase by at least 50%.
Which feels mean. That feels mean, but...
Are you talking about the dialogue or the score?
The dialogue. Oh,
The score is decent.
Yes, if we could specifically cut out the vocal track, because the score is so goddamn good.
No, because even making it a silent film wouldn't work, because then we'd have to read the misogynistic dialogue. I'm not putting in extra effort for misogyny.
There's a webcomic, Saturday Morning Breakfast Cereal, that did a great strip where it's like, what it's like to read classic sci-fi. We are going to go out and conquer the stars and see wondrous new planets. Make my dinner, woman. And the woman says, can't one of the androids make it? And the man says, those are boy robots. And that's basically it.
You are tragically correct.
I feel like I'm harping on this so much, and I am sorry for that.
No, you're right. You're right, and you should say it.
Fair enough. Because, like I said, I did really like Alta in theory. Because, again, she's been on this planet with her father this whole time. It's the same reason I like Miranda in theory. Like, that's a cool character who has been on this planet with her weird, mysterious father this whole time, and suddenly is thrust into a new situation that she's known before. Again, she's just a space Disney princess.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds fun. Especially with her little animal friends.
But it's not from her perspective, because classic sci-fi at the time was geared towards a young male audience, and for them the adventure is, ooh, grapple with these cool concepts. Hey, cute lady, let's treat her poorly.
Hey, she's swimming naked.
Yeah, even though she's not. Like,
well, I mean, I imagine they would not have let her. Technically the Hays Code was still kind of hanging over things.
Like, yeah, in dialogue she says she's not wearing a swimsuit, but like when you see her get out, she's clearly wearing like a whole thing with a little skirt on it.
Yeah.
But
no, she doesn't even know what a swimsuit is, because why would she need to?
Yeah. Again, the what is Kiss?
But, so, yeah, I guess I just want to see this from her point of view. I think that'd be neat. Her and Robbie's point of view.
The story of Robbie. That'll be the next... Actually, yeah, I'd pay money to see that.
I think a lot of people would.
Robbie the Robot.
Yes. The Robbie Bot Diaries.
Make it happen, Hollywood. You're already prequelizing everything else. Yeah, I do think the concept of this creature has been created from the subconscious of anybody who's on the planet is a really cool idea. And, clearly based on the kind of psychology that was popular at the time. It's very Jungian.
If I recall correctly, Morbius even says this is an outdated concept, but he's just using it because I'm going to talk to the audience now, thank you.
Yes. This is an outdated concept because it's not my fault. He's clearly in denial during that scene. Like, it's not my fault.
yeah.
It can't be me. I couldn't have killed the rest of my crew.
Yeah, I couldn't have done that. That sort of thing's beneath me.
I'm enlightened and civilized and above.
And of course, Leslie Nielsen's ripping into him, finally understandably being all gruff and commanding.
When we threatened your little egomaniac empire.
Yeah. He is still being an aggressive asshole about it, though. Like, wow.
When we interrupted your little fantasy about being a Krellaboo.
Oh my god. Wow. You are so tragically correct there.
This civilization is so cool, and it's mine now. All mine.
Yeah, nothing bad could ever come from this.
His power does go over 9,000, to carry your analogy a little bit further.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, and even then, it's just like, but now she's defying you. It's just like, really? We couldn't even let her have one line about that instead? So weird. Like, she just kind of stands there while he's yelling at her father.
Hush, Anne Francis, men are talking.
And she just stands there while they're blowing up her planet. I even said in my Letterboxd review, and I had shown it to you in the chat, it's just like, as much flack as I give George Lucas, at least he had the sense to realize that the guys who are holding back our leading lady while they blow up her home planet are not really the good guys here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the circumstances are different, but still.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's
in all fairness, it's Morbius who blows up the planet by telling them, turn the dial, hit the switch, oh, by the way, the planet's going to explode now. Even in his dying breath, he is being paternalistic, and you can't have my toys.
The way everyone puts up with more BS.
Nice.
Hey.
This is such a frustrating movie because, again, since it is such a classic, I do want to like it more. But that's just it. It wasn't made for someone like me in mind. And I always say this on Ellie's podcast, like, if you are going to be watching older stuff, you do have to learn how to stomach this kind of stuff and recognize it's going to be more slowly paced, and it's probably not going to focus on the points of view that you would like. But God, I really do feel like I'm being a killjoy here.
No, you're right. But that is something we have to do with all media. I mean, always historicize, always remember like the circumstances in which it was made, the influence that it had, and, respect your own disgust. Your disgust is valid, and recognize that's you, that's the society you live in, that's what you want the world to be, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
But,
and again, I feel like science fiction should be about that. It's like, ideally, we should be looking forward to what we want the world to be. But then again, it was still such a new thing to toy with in film, so I guess they hadn't quite gotten there yet. They were just kind of focusing on, ooh, look at the cool new toys we'll get. Look at all the cool new planets we'll see. Rather than, hey, how can we be better as people?
Yeah. Sexism, what's that? Will it make me dinner?
I do think that this is one of the few times when you could take a movie that's regarded as a classic, do a modern updating of it where you're shaving away the sexism and such, and you could make a great movie from this. Because, it's The Tempest.
I was debating if that's what I wanted, because on the one hand, yeah, I would actually like to see a more modern take on this. But on the other hand, that's kind of already been done in other things that it was inspired by it, is the thing.
You could argue that all of Star Trek, beyond the original series, through Next Generation, like it just took the ideas that are presented in this, even the whole structure of, we are landing on this planet, you're entering this situation, we are solving whatever's going on here. Like, that's every episode of Star Trek. And, taken and expanded to include a much broader swath of human experience in that.
Actually thinking about, hey, how can we be better people?
Yeah. Janeway never would have put up with this shit.
God, no. Janeway probably would have punched somebody. And I am saying this as someone who only really knows Star Trek through cultural osmosis, I should say that.
I need to do a rewatch of Voyager. I grew up on that. And I'm not sure Janeway would have punched someone. She definitely would have, threatened them at gunpoint.
That works for me, too. I will say, I had even said earlier that in spite of all the good stuff in The Tempest, it really did feel like it focused on the wrong thing. So in a way, this is almost a perfect adaptation.
You ain't wrong.
Ain't wrong. I came into it fully expecting to talk about the sexism in it, which is so bad.
It is so prominent. Like I said, I probably would have had more fun with it if it wasn't so prominent and there was more to enjoy.
It is unavoidable.
It's like just when you think you're kind of settling into the cool stuff, then it happens.
Those are boy robots.
Robbie disagrees.
Yes.
And we love them for that.
Robbie is the one pure thing that came out of it, and
put Robbie on the non-binary flag. Let's do it.
Actually, give me a second. I'm going to look up his cameos, because Robbie's afterlife in this movie is extensive.
And actually, while Kyle's looking that up, I just remembered the one reference to another property that I wanted to make, and I forgot. I just recalled the Not a Girl running gag from Good Place.
Even if not consciously, the parallel is definitely there.
Okay, so Robbie's second appearance in movies was another science fiction movie called The Invisible Boy, aka SOS Spaceship. Robbie stole the show in Forbidden Planet, and he was reused in The Invisible Boy and episodes of The Gale Storm Show, The Thin Man, Columbo, The Addams Family.
Oh, that makes
sense. He battled the robot in Lost in Space.
Oh my god, that's right!
I mean, not to pit two monarchs against each other, but that's incredible.
Parts of him were used in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He appeared on Mork and Mindy. Cameo in Gremlins. Looney Tunes Back in Action was a more recent one.
Oh my god, that's right. The sequence in the Louvre kind of overtook everything else in that movie.
And his most recent appearance was in 2014. The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
He's in another deeply sexist show about nerddom, which is... okay, I'm not going to do too much apologizing for Big Bang Theory, but just the presence of women on that show to counteract the nerd sexism does do something to it.
I have to agree. Before Amy Farrah Fowler's actress, Mayim Bialik, kind of ruined her social cachet, I did actually really like her as a character.
And it takes a long time. I've seen the whole series. It does a lot that the series ends with Sheldon finally breaking down and acknowledging that he loves his friends.
Yeah, that does actually help a lot.
He gets there eventually, but yeah, it takes a while. Penny is redeemable. Penny, I like Penny. She's also a fantastic Harley Quinn.
Doesn't she just?
Yeah, no, and I definitely didn't expect that when they first announced it, but go figure. I have some affection for Big Bang Theory, even though I acknowledge it's a hot-ass mess.
But that is... with the Big Bang Theory as being about, nerddom, the popular conception of nerddom, a lot of that same sexism in the Big Bang Theory, presented and commented on in universe, shows up a lot in Forbidden Planet and properties like it.
And it kind of goes to show, it's like, oh, so this is why a good chunk of nerddom is like this.
Yeah. If you do a literary analysis of science fiction, this is where a lot of it started. Yeah. It's just... the fantasy is about a bunch of boys going out and doing boy things, and women and non-binary robots just kind of get in the way. The id is something that destroys worlds. Oh, if we didn't have these annoying emotions, we would have a perfect civilization. Krelaboos.
Yeah, wow. Fandom and science fiction were considered such a boys' club for so fucking long, and we still haven't really made up for all the lost time and the lost voices throughout history, and I hope we continue to do better. Like I said, that's what science fiction should be about.
Anyway, Altera deserves her own movie.
Yes, honestly, more Mirandas should be the focal point in more Tempests. Honestly, Witch from Mercury does do some interesting things with their Miranda. If you can stomach the anime of it all, I do think it's a very interesting take on it. It's very loose, but their Miranda is the main character, and she's a very interesting one. Plus, it's gay.
Hey!
And as our friend Ellie pointed out on the episode, literally her love interest even says, basically to the camera, it's like, wow, your country doesn't have gay marriage? It must be stupid and backwards.
Wait, what's the title of this again? I need to look it up. I need to watch this now.
Mobile Suit Gundam, Witch from Mercury. It's all on YouTube. And
fantastic.
That episode's been up for, oh my god, almost a month now. So if you want to listen to it to hear our thoughts, please do. It'd be very nice of you.
Fantastic.
But yeah, maybe I should read that Gale YA novel from her point of view as well at some point. Obviously, in spite of these flaws, that doesn't mean this isn't an iconic movie for a reason. Again, the roots of a genre that I have a lot of affection for, a lot of it can be found here. And I do respect what they did with what few special effects they had. And I respect how much we got out of people kind of mining it for parts. And at least I have Robbie. All hail Robbie, sci-fi non-binary icon.
All hail Robbie. Let's end on All Hail Robbie.
Hell
I think
yeah.
I'm fine with Robbie supremacy.
Yes, you know what? If we get a robot uprising, but they all look like Robbie, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I guess we got into a lot of why the Forbidden Planet endures, but if you have further thoughts on that, we could do that. And also, why does the Tempest endure?
I think a lot of the Tempest endures. One, it's a very fun play. There's a lot of like exciting things that happen in it, and it also the language is beautiful. Prospero's speech alone about what stuff the dreams are made on is just there's a lot of beautiful poetry in it. It endures a lot because it is kind of a magical fantasy, but there are a lot of horrible imperialist ideas within that fantasy that I don't think we've ever really unpacked as a society.
I'd love to see someone like properly unpack that in an adaptation.
There needs to be a version of the Tempest where Prospero is just the antagonist, is a villain. Like, my dream is Bryan Cranston as Prospero. Just as Walter White, just manipulating people into,
amazing.
Galaxy brain, Kyle.
Oh, yeah.
Get on my level.
Kyle, we absolutely need to get you on one of our pitch episodes.
Okay. I'll call Bryan Cranston's people. I'll pitch it to him.
My name is Morbius, King of Krell. Look on my works, ye mighty. And it endures because I'm about to say something that is please wait until I get to the second half to explain why I'm using the admittedly incendiary first half. Part of it on why the Tempest has endured, like everything else that Shakespeare has done, is the cult of Shakespeare, by which I mean the people who treat every Shakespeare as serious business. The ones who think that everyone should be doing their best Olivier imitations instead of finding something new and fresh.
The bardolatry of it all, if you will.
Honestly, this is making me realize that I want Baz Luhrmann's Forbidden Planet more than I can possibly put into words.
Oh my god, yes.
Ooh.
That would be fantastic. Planet. No, Fantastic Planet is something different.
Entirely.
Actually, Grady, that's the video I'm working on right now. I'm
awesome.
working on a video about PragerU, actually.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Which is...
Oh, I am looking forward to you roasting the hell out of these bastards.
Roasting PragerU on YouTube, very popular, very lucrative, very easy to do. And PragerU's, like, they've done some takes on Shakespeare, like Michael Knowles, who sucks. He has a book club. He's talked about King Lear and Hamlet on it. That god-awful Leo and Layla animated series where they go back in time and meet historical figures. They meet Shakespeare. I talk about that. And PragerU does what a lot of people do, which is put Shakespeare on a pedestal and treat him as, in all caps, the greatest writer of the English language, and basically use him to promote empire, to promote, the imperialist project.
Oh, jeez.
A lot of it sprang, from the end of Shakespeare's life and from even this play. A lot of people have seen Shakespeare's writing Prospero as, oh, this is him commenting on the writing process. He is the master of this world, and he is writing this world into being.
And even if that's true, it's worth noting Prospero gives it up at the end.
Yes, as Morbius does.
Yes.
He is overthrown by his charms. The other reason why Shakespeare is enduring are all the people who realize that this isn't some deathly serious thing that needs to be kept behind glass, that he was the Aaron Spelling of his day. All of his plays are full of dick and fart jokes. Because, he's a great writer, but he's a great writer who knows that if you don't get asses in seats, you're not going to get paid to write stuff. As this movie demonstrates, you can take one of his stories and set it literally anywhere and find a way to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, hell, just the trend on TikTok and YouTube shorts and such, where people portray Shakespeare through a more Southern or Western lens. Like, Shakespeare plays beautifully with a Southern accent, turns out, which is very funny, because an actor that I quite like was out and out told he had to drop his accent if he wanted to do Shakespeare. Bullshit. I am sorry someone did that to you, Matthew Bomer.
There's an entire chapter in a book called Worlds Elsewhere. Yes, I named my theater company after it. The book is called Worlds Elsewhere. Each chapter is about the spread and practice of Shakespeare, across continents. There's an entire chapter on Shakespeare in Germany. There's an entire chapter on Shakespeare in America, which is extensive. I mean, a lot of the reason, Americans treat Shakespeare as this thing behind glass is because we were founded by Puritans who hated theater as a concept and treated Shakespeare as something to be read and not staged.
Because they hated fun as a concept.
Yeah, they hated fun as a concept, but theater in particular, like, that was a place where you could see people dressing as the gender that they are not supposed to and stuff like that. But, so, Americans have successfully divorced Shakespeare from the theater and treated Shakespeare as something to be read and, like, from which to draw moral conclusions. And not something to be staged and something to be played in all the sense of the word played.
And ruining it for children everywhere.
Yup.
Part of what makes it so great is that you can take so much from it. Like, it's kind of like what you said at the end of your Anonymous video. It's like Shakespeare almost works like a mirror. Like, you can see whatever you want to see in it and interpret it the way, however you want to interpret it. And that's what makes a good story last.
Like all great art, it's what you can take away from it. You can take away a lot from Shakespeare and the many adaptations of his work.
And I do genuinely love that Shakespeare has made his way into the stars even. There is a world elsewhere, and it's in space. I don't even care that I'm quoting the wrong play.
Which is also a theme in Star Trek. There's a original series episode about a traveling Shakespeare troupe, where the man who plays Macbeth is like a murderer running from the law.
Okay, that sounds like an awesome episode. Clearly, I do not watch more Star Trek.
No, Jasmine.
You do. You absolutely do.
Not just a murderer, a war criminal who murdered people Kirk knew.
That's right. I forgot that aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called The Conscience of the King, which is why I threw that title that line out earlier.
I bet we could argue covering that episode one day. So, but until then, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I'm going to give myself an oil job.
My final thought is just a recommendation to anybody listening to this out there. Find someone that is doing an absolutely fucking weird version of one of Shakespeare's plays. If you can't find it, come up with a weird fucking way of doing one of Shakespeare's plays and enlist people.
Hell yeah.
Go forth and create.
Hell yeah.
And who has stuff to plug? I know we already kind of talked about it at the top, but that's okay.
I'm Kallgren. My Patreon is up and running. I have a YouTube channel. You can see all my old stuff there. If you like my work, maybe consider giving me $1 or $2 a month.
I'm Grady Smithy, Snakespit Cat on most of the socials, and as is my usual wont, I have a if you like this, then try this. The Murderbot series on Apple has some really good stuff on this, and which, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's about a security robot that manages to hack its Asimov protocols into disabling, but still winds up having to work for a group of people because if it lets people discover that it's jailbroken itself, it's going to get melted down. And then weird shit happens.
I've been meaning to read the book for a while, so that'll be a good thing to both read and watch. And as for this week's Heroes Call to Action, I am going to shout out the Coram Shakespeare Schools Foundation. This is a theater program that reaches out to a diverse group of children and basically helps them use Shakespeare to improve their confidence through programs, performances, and workshops. We've said it multiple times on this podcast that Shakespeare should belong to everyone, and this is a company that is dedicated to being inclusive and reaching out to all sorts of kids. So check the link in the show notes to see how you can help this really excellent company. And as always, you can find me at FavorVR on all the socials, and you can find this podcast on Blue Sky and technically Twitter at IAR Podcast. To help us reach the next chapter of our story, please consider donating to our Patreon, our Ko-Fi page, or the Spread the Show link below. Or if you are unable to support us monetarily in these really financially uncertain times, please consider rating and reviewing us on the podcatcher of your choice and spreading the word to any nerds in your life that might want to hear about us. And speaking of the next chapter of our story, we are closing out our IER in Space activities with the Disney Channel should have been classic Treasure Planet. We hope you'll join us, and remember, stories gain power in each retelling. Now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have is mine own, which is most faint. Now 'tis true I must be here confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got and pardoned the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell. But release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which is to please. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself and frees all faults. As you from crimes would pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free.
One space vampire battle later.
Oh, fuck. Okay, good that you drove off the space vampires, but we really need to have a talk about playing with fire, kid. Oh, it looks like you've chosen a name already. That's great. Let's see what you picked. Oh, Meyer? How exactly do you pronounce this? I don't want to start off on the wrong foot with our little buddy here.
It appears to say Iyun.
Iyun, okay.
They have written it in a way that translates to, I believe, glittering tree. Though I'm unfamiliar with the kind of interstellar fruit it bears.
Oh, they just nodded at you. That's cute. And kind of makes sense why you latched onto ire. They are indeed very shiny. We should treat you to whatever the space version of pie is to celebrate. Oh, you even know how to do a thumbs up. Even the alien from Hail Mary can't do that.
Host Jasmine, it appears to be too early to celebrate just yet.
What do you mean? I don't see anything. Ah! What was that?
Already scanning the area, and it appears to be an invisible ink monster.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. First space vampires, now invisible monsters? Can we catch a break already? Buddy, can you figure out a way to let us see them?
Working on it. Oh, it appears that Iyun wants to help as well. Give us a minute.
I mean, if they're sure. Oh, God. Maybe I should have a turn with the flamethrower after all. Gotta do something about all this pent-up energy, and if it's good enough for Ellen Ripley, it's good enough for me.